Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. The admissions to professional courses and recruitment to government jobs done by the Madhya Pradesh Professional Examination Board, known as Vyapam in Hindi, has become probably the country's biggest scam ever. Nearly 1 crore young students have appeared for examinations conducted by the board between 2008 and 2013, of whom all the selected have come under a shadow. Thousands and thousands of recruitments done for posts of teachers, forest guards, sub-inspectors, police constables, excise officers, among others, by this board have also been tainted. So far, 2,350 people stand accused, while 2,000 people have been arrested. Among the accused are 2 ministers, 3 IAS officers, 2 IPS officers, apart from a union minister and senior leaders of the RSS, whose names figure in the charge sheets and statements of the accused. The governor and his son, who died mysteriously recently, are also named apart from the kin of the chief minister and close officials working with him. In the scam which broke out in 2013 with a whistleblower bringing it out, so far 55 cases have been registered and charge sheets have been filed in 28 cases. But what makes this scam the most alarming is that over 40 people associated with the scam, as an accused or a witness, have died so far, 4 of them in the last 1 week. After months of dilly-dallying, the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister was forced to accept a CBI inquiry, which today the Supreme Court has directed. Why has the scam assumed such proportions? Who are the people who have stymied this scam? What is the impact of this scam on the people and the systems? Why has this been allowed to fester for so long? A whole lot of questions have cropped up, which we will discuss today with Marwah, former governor and a former commissioner of Delhi Police, P.P. Rao, senior advocate in the Supreme Court, A.N.Tiwari, former Chief Information Commissioner and also Secretary DoPT, Government of India, and Rasheed Kidwai, Associate Editor of the Telegraph, on the phone line from Bhopal. Welcome to all of you. Rasheed, I would like to come to you first. You have been the man on the spot. You have been watching this from very close quarters all these years. Why do you think it has taken such a long time for a CBI inquiry to be ordered? You think that the political class were not so much interested in this for quite some time?
Yes, Girish, indeed, there was a great deal of reluctance on the part of the political class. There was a variety of reasons. They kept saying that the High Court is satisfied with the progress made by the STF, but the real reason was CBI's past record and that kind of that discomfort that Chief Minister had with so to say Delhi, and he didn't want to be at the mercy of the political masters. So CBI, as we understand, is an autonomous body. It's a fairly professional body, but its track record, it speaks for itself. So for a variety of reasons, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan was extremely hesitant, diffident about the whole thing.
Even after his own party government came to power in Delhi?
Yes, that was something which was baffling because had it not been these deaths, which were, some of them were linked with Vyapam, some of them were not, but the spotlight somehow, that media spotlight, that perception, that prompted Chief Minister. Otherwise, had these unfortunate deaths had not taken place or had not been reported, I don't think we would have been discussing today the CBI probe into Vyapam scam.
Rasheed, if I'm correct, about 25 to 30 people had died till about, say, January of this year, and a spate of people died after that. 25 is not a small number, even if many of them may have been natural deaths, but still there was a lot of doubt surrounding those deaths. But why is it that this whole incident, this whole scam never went out of Madhya Pradesh for so long?
Just, it's very strange as you're saying that some of the deaths may not be linked, but all people who died under mysterious circumstances, unnatural death, had to Vyapam. Somebody was a whistleblower, somebody was an accused, or somebody was just was reporting as a journalist. So this is something which is very intriguing. But the Chief Minister never felt it to be grave enough to order a probe. Because the problem was the BJP leadership itself, the center as well as the state government, they never exerted pressure on the chief minister, because there are some call details and there are records that link people who are very closely associated with Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And similar, the most glaring case was actually that of a governor, because what Shivraj Singh did was there were some deft political moves were also there. When Chief Minister, when Governor Ram Naresh Yadav's name figured in the sense that he was named in FIR as accused number 10 for recommending 5 forest guard and making such a recommendation on his actually letterhead, official letterhead. Then the central government gave an affidavit. Central government gave an affidavit to Jabalpur High Court saying that the majesty of a governor cannot be undermined. I found that extremely glaring.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many things which have happened in this scam which are so glaring and also shocking. Mr. Marwah, how do you look at this? You know, one of the aspects. You have been a governor before, and here is a governor who has been named in an FIR. The central government gives that kind of an affidavit. The Jabalpur High Court says that you have to uphold the high office, or the dignity of the high office, and you can't do anything. I mean, how do you look at this whole thing?
Even in a country where we take it for granted that there is a certain level of corruption everywhere,
Yes.
I think this particular case is very, very disturbing and shocking. Because, first of all, forget the probe and the inquiry, that's the latter part. How has such a scam taken place at this scale for so long?
For so long.
You said 1 crore...
1 crore students have appeared in this examination from 2008 to 2013.
Obviously, this sort of thing cannot go on without complicity at a very, very high level. And it is a job of the government, primary job of the government, to ensure that there is some level, at least a minimum level of governance. Now, with the credibility of this government so low, they are taking credit for ordering a probe. I think it's very shocking. As far as the governor is concerned, that also throws up a number of very, very disturbing questions. First of all, how such people have been appointed? After all, he is the head of the state. He is expected to, set a sort of a he should be a role model for the rest of the government to follow. But if they are involved and his name figures so directly in the charge sheet, and now continuing to be in that post on technical grounds, I think it's very disturbing. The government of India cannot take refuge under the technicalities by saying that we can't remove the governor. I say you have removed so many other governors, and why can't you recommend that this man should also go? It's all the credibility of the entire system is under a very serious challenge and threat.
Mr. Rao?
Yes.
The whole legalities of what has happened so far. The Madhya Pradesh High Court, not allowing the Supreme CBI inquiry, saying that there is no need for a CBI inquiry. Even yesterday, they did not want to, take a decision. They just, stalled the whole thing. Even in the past, there has been, they appointed a retired judge of Supreme Court to oversee the investigations. You think that the judiciary has acted in the right manner in all this?
No, I think the magnitude of the offences involved here, they warranted a thorough probe, a credible probe. And I don't think the High Court was justified in not allowing a CBI probe at the earliest possible time. But more than that, you kind of look at the way the governments are functioning. They get elected, the people repose confidence, and the kind of people they appoint in these boards to discharge such important function of selecting candidates for various courses, for admission, and also for appointments, etc. What kind of people are being appointed? I think something needs to be done about it.
See, the whole thing is now, there are so many students who have got selected. Now, even the genuine ones have come under the shadow. So many people have got selected to various posts. Even the genuine ones have come under shadow. Among the 2,000 arrested, many of them are students also.
Yes.
Mr. Tiwari?
It is a symptom of the confused times in which we are living, that the very CBI which is criticized by these very same people is now the panacea for all the ills. So I think this brings to the fore some very basic issues about the manner of institutions being built in this country. A democracy needs institutions, and especially democracy needs personnel, and those personnel have to be recruited by tertiary institutions like the public service commissions. The sheer scale of these frauds which happened in this institution, it is going to be dwarfed by bigger frauds which are likely to come out. And I think Economic Times has written something about that. But come to think of it, the participants in this fraud did not belong only to UP, only to Madhya Pradesh. They came from Uttar Pradesh, they came from Bihar. They were bright students who were sucked into this vortex, and they were going and helping others. There is something called engine and bogie system. That is, that each student who was very bright, had previously succeeded in examinations, was made to sit down next to a weak student and write down the answers from him. The ingenuity is really stunning. RTI was used. You know how? It was said that the students were asked to leave their answer sheets blank. Those were picked up by the examiners, and they gave a random mark to it, which was sufficient for him to qualify. Then an RTI application was put to get that sheet, to review that sheet. It was handed over to the very same person who had given that answer sheet. He filled up the answers corresponding and to the exactly to the point where it corresponded with the mark which the examiner had already given. And then it was deposited back into the hands of the people there. Now come to think of it, the conspiracy.
How many people must have
How
been
many
involved?
people involved? And the sheer fact that it has been persisting, some say from 1995
Yes.
up to 2009 when somebody held an inquiry.
2013 actually.
And now 2013 and 2015. It is mind-boggling.
It's absolutely. So we are joined in now by Nikhil Pandey. Nikhil Pandey is a lawyer in the Madhya Pradesh High Court. He is representing one of the whistleblowers. Actually, Mr. Pandey, you have to tell us, what is the extent of this scam and how is it that this has remained in the way it was till today when the Supreme Court has finally directed a CBI probe?
Sir, first of all, I would just like to say one thing, that everybody is saying that this is a Vyapam scam. But exactly what is Vyapam scam, I would like to point out some few points over
Please.
it, if you permit. Sir, in each and every government medical college or in private medical college, there are 150 admissions to be done in MBBS.
Okay.
In government medical colleges, all seats are to be filled either by the state PMT examination, which is being conducted by Vyapam, and there is some percentage of the seats which are to be filled by the students who qualifies in the All India PMT, All India Medical Entrance Examination. But as far as the government medical colleges is concerned, the beneficiaries, those are being benefited by the scorers who are from other states, those who are already prosecuting their medical studies. They used to accommodate it with them. Their roll numbers are being arranged like that so that the scorers can give benefits to the beneficiaries. Therefore, by this, they both get the scoring marks. Now, there is a private medical colleges. In Madhya Pradesh, there are 6 private medical colleges. Every medical college is having a 150 seats of MBBS. In that 150 seats, there is a 50% seats are to be filled by the NRI. This is the order passed by the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, this 15% comes to 23 seats. Now, the remaining seats is to be divided into 50-50%. It comes round about to 64 seats and 63. 64 seats are to be filled in these private medical colleges through the management of those private medical colleges. Now, by the examination which are being conducted by the Association of the Private Medical and Dental Associations. Now, the remaining 63 seats are to be filled by the candidates and the students who qualified the PMT examination, because that is a quota fixed for the government, state government quota it is called.
Right.
Now, these 63 seats are being sold by the private management by the management of the private medical institutions. How? I just let you know. The scorer coming from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar or Rajasthan to provide benefit to the beneficiary, that beneficiary scored suppose 166 marks. That scorer has also scored 166 marks. Both got the place in the merit list. Beneficiary took admission in government medical college and the scorer took admission in private medical colleges in state PMT quota seat. Now, this scorer is getting a very little bit of amount, you can say 20,000 or 30,000 as a
Fees.
as a corruption money
Oh,
for benefiting the
okay.
for benefiting or providing benefit to the beneficiary. Now, when he took admission to the private medical college, though he scored well and he was placed in the merit list, but he deliberately took admission in private medical college. And on the last date, which is the cutoff date set by the Honorable Supreme Court, that is of 30th of September. Prior to 30th of September, they left these seats vacant, in private medical colleges.
Okay.
And those seats are being filled by the management of private medical colleges from their own candidates. And against this admission, they are taking huge amount for per seat as 50 lakhs or 55 lakhs or more than that.
Okay.
This is how the Vyapam scam.
This is the, what about the recruitments?
The recruitment is there. The recruitment, because the officials of the Vyapam, that is the Madhya Pradesh Professional Examination Board, when all these officials were involved in this corruption, they are providing benefits to all the beneficiaries who are paying them.
So actually this came out sometime in 2013. The extent of this scam, though this has been talked about since 2009, 2010. So what happened after that? Why is it that even the opposition parties in Madhya Pradesh have not been able to push for a CBI inquiry till now?
Sir, I would not like to reply to this question because I am appearing on behalf of one whistleblower, that is Dr. Anand Rai,
Right.
before the Honorable High Court, Jabalpur, and Dr. Anand Rai was the first whistleblower and the first official complainant. He first filed a complaint to in the year 2009.
And he's a doctor, he's a medical doctor.
He's a medical doctor and he's a government employee
Right.
of state of MP. So he has made a complaint against the irregularities committed by the Vyapam in connection to the admissions in MBBS seats.
So what about
or PG.
What about the deaths which have taken place?
Sir, that is very sorry state of affair because I personally feel, my petitioner personally feels that all these deaths which are being found there in Madhya Pradesh are all in connection with the Vyapam. Because either how the persons who are being found dead, either they have committed suicide or the murder has been caused to them, or there might be a homicidal. All are connected to Vyapam.
You are convinced that all are connected to Vyapam. Rasheed, now that the CBI inquiry has been ordered, you think that some kind of a justice will be done, or you think that as far as the chief minister, as far as the government is concerned, is actually convenient because it is going to postpone the whole thing?
Yeah, Girish, this is a very good question. See, at one level, one would welcome CBI probe, but given CBI's own track record, I can give you an example when right activist Shaila Masood was murdered. Within 36 hours, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister ordered a CBI probe. But the way, CBI probe has gone about is something that has left many of us extremely disappointed. So, as a citizen, I would feel that, it should be a Supreme Court monitored CBI probe so that there is a sense of accountability and sense of direction. This is one thing that one would expect, and I hope Supreme Court does that.
Okay, Mr. Rao, you think that should have been the right step? Because today's the order of the court doesn't say anything about monitoring of the case.
Yes.
And when a case which has taken so long, there have already been several 50 cases have been registered. All these things have happened. Now, when the CBI starts probing, what happens? You think that it will go back to square one?
No, I think it is eminently desirable that the court monitors CBI investigation and calls for status reports from time to time, and then try to expedite the whole process in order to bring the offenders to book at the earliest. That is very necessary.
You think the Supreme Court could have looked into the larger issue of the entire system itself? Or
Today is the first hearing. Today notices have been issued. what should be done further? The concrete orders can be passed only after hearing the parties, the notices. The government has to come. Even the governor has been issued a notice.
Yes.
About the governor issuing notice, there is a little difficulty there.
Why?
That is this. He has an immunity under the Constitution.
Right.
No proceedings can be initiated in a court against him while he is holding the office. And certainly criminal proceedings cannot be. But then Supreme Court has held in the Bihar dissolution case, assembly dissolution case, that it is optional for the governor whether to respond to the notice or not.
Okay.
If he wants to respond to it, there is no bar on that. Therefore, it's an opportunity given to the governor to come out.
So he might as well just ignore the notice.
He ignore the notice. But in case he ignores the notice, that's a very good ground for the central government, for the president to dismiss him from the office.
Okay, that's interesting, Mr. Marwah.
No,
You think that is the step forward now, because here is a governor who is completely tainted, who has been found to be, he or his office or his son, one of his sons was an accused. He died in mysterious circumstances. Another son of his has been already interrogated or questioned in this matter. How can he continue in the office? Or you think that central government need not wait for all these things to happen?
no, I agree. His continuation is absolutely untenable. But that is one dimension of it. There is then the political dimension. Now, allowing such a scam to go on with this scale for so long, and somebody should be held politically accountable. And thirdly, it's an administrative and legal question. Listening to all this, one gets a very eerie feeling. Corruption cases have taken place before, but such large-scale suspicious deaths raises...
and so well planned, and so hugely planned.
And I think we need immediate and a multi-dimensional...
No, but what about the investigations, sir? There was an STF which was appointed, then an SIT was appointed. Both of them have been investigating. There have been a lot of... I'm sure Mr. Pandey will be able to tell us what kind of confusion has been there. But now that the CBI... Does the CBI start from the scratch? How does it start?
No,
Where does it start?
They'll get all the documents and whatever is available and then deal with it. But the point which Mr. Rao has, I entirely endorse with him, you need credibility. And already questions are being raised, and CBI itself is not something... only Supreme Court, only a couple of days ago, has ordered an inquiry against the former director CBI. So when you have allegations at that level, you need court-monitored investigation, which will have some credibility, because it is very important that immediate action is taken at all levels, and credibility of the system is restored.
Mr. Pandey, what has been the investigations so far? You think the investigations have been done by the STF and the SIT have been fairly reasonable, fairly good? How do you look at these investigations?
I don't feel so, because I personally don't feel so, because the investigation has not yet been gone to the aspect which just now I have told you about the scam and the mass cancellation or the cancellation scam.
55 cases have been registered so far. 28 in charge sheets have been filed in 28 cases.
Yes.
What are these cases and what are these?
These cases are with respect to the admissions in the government medical colleges. These cases are with respect to the appointments on the government post. But again, I would like to say that if there was no private colleges, there is a very little chance of the corruption, because the corruption is being monitored and benefited only for the private medical colleges. Only because of them.
Okay.
And the and as far as the monitoring is concerned, the court is monitoring on the record which is being presented before the court by the investigating agency. And what the investigating agency is doing, I personally say that they are escaping and they are trying to
cover up?
Yeah, they are trying to cover up the main racketeers, the main persons who are behind it.
Exactly. So, Mr. Tiwari, there are two aspects to this. One is actually the admissions and the recruitment which has happened. Another is the larger conspiracy. These cannot be, taken together.
Mr. Nikam, that is precisely bothers me.
Okay.
This scam has come not as a unique scam. it has come in the wake of so many scams which have happened, the Bihar scam and
The fodder
all many
scam and
scams.
all the, yeah.
Now, in spite of this, if the political bureaucratic class does not think twice before entering into another scam zone, then there is something very seriously wrong.
Absolutely.
Now, my trouble is that over the years, the politico-bureaucratic class, of which I was a part, has been systematically trying to weaken institutions, largely because it is a tussle of power. If an institution is strong, the politician is that much weaker. A. And B, he cannot become a rent seeker if the institution is strong, like UPSC. Nobody finds fault
Exactly.
with UPSC.
So UPSC
But there are so many public service commissions in the states, the police recruitment boards, which have come under shadow, largely because the core values of those institutions have been systematically denied, have been drained by this class. Now, the question is, if the political class continues to weaken institutions like this, and CBI is one of them which has been systematically sought to be weakened. Right. Now, if this continues, you will keep on having scams.
These kind
It will be assembly line scams.
So, Mr. Rao, is it a problem of the...
I'll make one more
Yes.
point. Second point is, as it happens in democracies, most of these social, political issues end up being legal issues, largely because the arbitrational role of the executive and the legislature has been completely marginalized, and they have lost trust of the people.
Yes.
Now, that only arbitrational function is with the court.
Right.
I am doubtful whether, if, as they say, if you enter a room of mascara, it is impossible to come out unstained. Now, if the courts keep handling this kind of thing forever, how long they will remain unstained?
Mr. Rao?
There is a very serious problem. Shifting every issue to the court
To the courts.
is going to lead to the collapse of the judicial system. They will not be able to manage with this.
Mr. Marwah?
No,
This is a complete breakdown of institutions, which is what is happening
The
there.
court can intervene once in a way, but they neither have the resources nor is it desirable for court to intervene in each and every case, because ultimately executive must do its own job, and there should be a hierarchical system which will ensure that the right investigation is done, culprits are brought to book, and the whole legal action is initiated against them. Then courts will come. This is
This court monitored investigation by CBI. It is a verdict
reflects
of
on
no confidence
in the CBI.
It is an exceptional thing that I'm recommending, that in this particular case it should be done.
Okay. Rasheed, very quickly, last words to you. You think that politically the Chief Minister has saved himself by this whole thing going into the CBI?
Yes, Girish, because now CBI will, it's a huge scam. It has so many leads. There more than 400 people are absconding. That itself is very shocking. So I think CBI will take, in order to get a grip of it, just to get comprehension, it will take probably a year.
Okay. I think on that note, we need to end. This is one of the most shocking scams which we have seen. Politically, who will pay the price for it? The CBI investigation has been ordered, but as all my panelists say, that it only shows how institutions have weakened, and now everything is now on the CBI to prove what has happened. But at the same time, politically, will people get away with it? We'll have to wait and watch. This scam is not going to end very soon. We'll keep a close watch on it. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue in the big picture same time tomorrow.